Hello guys and welcome to another unboxing for Flames of War. Myself and Freddy are going to be checking out Nikolay's Steel Wall. Now this is clearly the Russian set. So this is the army deal for the Russians. I will show the back of the box just because I can. So inside the box you're getting a ton of stuff. You're getting the rulebook, you're getting all your unit and stack cards, you're getting 3 T-34s, 3 KV-1s and 4 76mm field guns, or I think they call them divisional guns sometimes as well. These are your main anti-tank killers. Yeah,
they were usually a divisional asset.
Yeah.
But they put into what the Germans called pack front. Yeah. So they put them in like a box.
Don't need that. Right, that's artillery crew. I think that... Hold on.
What have we got? What have we got? Ah!
Bases.
The bases.
Right. Let's have a look. So again, like with the German box, we get the book, which we've seen.
So you'll end up pretty much with quite a few rule books, which is quite handy because you can have one at home. You can stick one in your grab bag, and if you're like John and like I am, and probably John, you're going to have bags for each army. You can stick one in each depending on what you're playing with, and if you've got a friend. And you say you buy the Stalingrad box set, the entry set, and then you've got one of these boxes. You can split the stuff between you and a friend and give them the other rulebook.
Absolutely, and of course as well we have the instruction sheet. Again, a single A4 page showing building the T-34, the gun, and the KV-1, showing with your optional parts as well. So it even says KV-1, KV-1S, and KV-8. Which is fair enough. There's different gun options and stuff for them as well. Not totally up on my modifications of KV. I know it as KV-1, KV-2, and the German captured one.
The KV-1S. I can't remember the Soviet word for speed, but they decided that they wanted one that would move a little bit quicker, which is the KV-1S.
Yeah.
If anyone out there knows what the S on KV-1S is, post your comments below.
Or what they did to make it faster.
Because they were quite a fairly quick vehicle, but this thing was a bit of a shock. It was a KV-1 that could move rather rapidly.
Yeah. And again, let's open this one up.
With the kits, we've gone... we're getting quite good at this now. The stuff is really simple and easy to put together. You're not... It's kind of a hybrid between in the old, those of you that used to play with the large clunky, I love resin, but where you were just gluing the gun to the turret and the tracks to get it on the table. This is pretty much the same, but it's not. You're not going to develop arms like Garth or Conan. Lugging your bag down to the club because it's plastics.
As well, we have our unit cards. So, Heavy Tank Killer Company. This is clearly your divisional guns. And it gives you your points costs and stuff for how many guns you have, and if they're 57mm or 76mm, because it looks like you have both, and the stats on the other side. So the Enemy at the Gate set, which is the company organization, what units are available. We have the movement orders, which is your prompting card again, and mixed tank battalion, which tells you what vehicles you're going to be putting in or what you can put in. Then we break down into KV-1s, KV-1S, T-34 earlies, and the tank companies KV-8, the OT-34, which I've never heard of, but, you know. OT usually is the Czechoslovakian. But Czechoslovakia was on the wrong side of the German-Russian line.
So I think we've got another one for comments being posted. If anyone knows what OT stands for.
I have a feeling... And this is just pure speculation. I think the prefix OT is anything that was licensed out to another manufacturer. I'm not sure though, but at the time everything would have been under Russian, what was it, the Soviet Union at the time. So I'm not sure.
I mean, we've got cases where I've seen guys at Bovingdon who have said that some of the Soviets could tell which factory produced a particular T-34, which is John's probably more aware than I am, purely by the riveting. They used to put little marking things because they took pride in what they were doing almost.
There was this is coming from my scale modelling experience. I have a T-34 which has a full interior set and it's absolutely gorgeous. I've done it as a almost like a Haynes manual exploded
Really?
diagram.
Yeah, nice with the little red edges on them.
Yeah. But it came from a specific factory because of the way you could tell because of the way the wheels were laid out.
Really?
So it was a steel wheel, 2 tired wheels, and a steel wheel at the back, and it's like that came from that factory on that date in that time, and you're like, okay. Again, it's a way of marking their vehicles.
Yeah, so they probably only had a certain amount of tired wheels, and rather than putting them all on the first tanks out the door,
they spread them out.
But that's quite clever. I mean, the Soviets were obviously they had the backs to the wall, but they took great pride in, and it wasn't just the fact that we're going to get sent to the gulag for not performing, but they actually took great pride in who was doing what to defeat the Germans.
Yeah. We also have these sprues, which I think are going to become very valuable to mid-war players.
Yeah.
I think over time, is the sprue that converts the standard T-34 kit to the early T-34 kit, which has that beautiful rounded turret with this big hatch on the top. I adore that version of T-34.
But that is quite a quirky little idea, really.
Yeah. I have a story about T-34, and I think I've said it to you guys before in another video way back. I can't remember. But do you know the way we have these days, these little TV ads are like, adopt a dog.
Yeah.
Or adopt a snow leopard. Well, in Russia, they had adopt a tank.
Yeah.
You could pay some of your wages into arms production for the war effort, because this was the great patriotic war. So, spend your money on the war effort, be great. But the reward for that was you get to put an inscription on the side of the vehicle when it comes out of the factory. And you hear ones like some of the more famous ones like Battling Girlfriend and stuff like that, because it had a female tank crew member. It was the driver or something. I think she became quite famous. Yes,
this is the lady whose husband
was killed.
So she drove the tank.
Yeah, so she drove T-34s. Yeah. But apparently, somewhere there was a picture, apparently somewhere. Never seen it. Can't confirm this is true or not. But two guys or 2 people went in and got inscriptions put on these 2 tanks that came out. And the first one that came out said, my wages paid for this, written on the side of the turret. And the one behind it said, you get wages? So
brilliant.
Apparently, there's a little thing I heard. It's probably not true, but if it is true, that is hilarious.
It would be funny. You'd have to field them in the same platoon.
Yeah.
To be honest.
To get the joke, for everyone to get the joke. But have you ever read T-34 tank turret inscriptions?
No.
They're horrible.
Really?
Some of them are great. Some of them are the coal miners of this.
Yeah.
You know, the battling miners or the farmers of this collective farm. And that's what they'd write on the side of the tank. And then some of them were just pure, clearly no one bought a tank that month, so they just started writing their own stuff in the factory.
Really?
It was all for the motherland and for Stalin.
Yeah,
and all this.
Zadodanu, well, that kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're talking of tanks, I mean, we're mid-war, we're kind of, we're at Stalingrad, but not far off where is Kursk.
Yeah.
And that famous story, when I was learning about Soviet equipment, was the story that because the Soviets, basically the Lucy ring had broken, well, they actually didn't do it, they were getting fed Enigma.
Yeah.
That was leaked, but they pretended it was a Lucy ring. But anyway, so Stalin finds out that there's going to be a build-up and an attack at Kursk. So to counter, they up the production of T-34 and ship them in. Now, what they'd done was they got the drivers had arrived at the railhead to get into the tanks. The gunners had been trained at a separate location with the 76mm on tripods, where they were taught to fire the gun.
Yep.
The commanders were at a different school. This is testament to the Soviet war machine. They arrive at the same place on the same day, where they're just, right, all of the drivers stand over there, all of the commanders over there, and the gunners over here. And it's like, right, one of each, get into the first vehicle.
Yeah.
You 3 get into the next. But it's also where we get that Pavlov's dog story about where they got the bomb packs strapped to the dogs to attack the German tanks, but they were feeding them to get them used to the smell underneath Soviet tanks. And when they released them,
they ran to the
Soviet tanks. But again, all this is stuff that we're bringing to life on the table.
Yeah.
With these kits, especially with the T-34 upgrade sprue, and all these kind of stories. So with regards to the inscriptions, you can really get modelling well with these kits. Bit of white paint, because it wasn't a proper, like a Western stencil job.
Oh, no.
This was literally Boris with his spare sock in a white paint, daubing on the side of the vehicle.
I can do you one worse than that. Soviet soldiers didn't have socks.
Did they not?
No. They had foot wraps.
Foot rot, probably. I don't know, foot wraps. That's absolutely outrageous.
Like, you would know from your old career, you know the putties?
Yeah.
It's essentially that.
Really?
Yeah, wrapped around your feet. No socks.
That's just unbelievable.
Right. Back to what we are talking about.
Yeah, sorry, moving swiftly on.
Yep, so we have our gun crews. All the wee guys with their 57 or 76 millimeter shells. I guess this guy looks like he's carrying a 57, and this guy's clearly carrying a 76. So that's our gun crews. There's also 2 sprues of tank commanders. Let's move on to the vehicles.
Yeah.
Now, we've briefly covered these in the 2-player starter box.
Yes.
So we don't need to dwell too long.
I think we covered them again in the video where we were discussing the books as well. So it's really just we can draw over the.
So we get 3 T-34s. They have 2 sprues apiece, obviously. So with this one, which is all the upper hull and turret detail, and the other one, which is the tracks and detailing parts. So that's pretty straightforward. Let's look at a gun. So here we have one of our gun sprues. I believe that's probably the 76. The longer barrel might be the 76. Yeah, Freddy,
we
should instructions.
Be able to. Here we go. There. So the one.
Oh, okay.
On the left as you're looking.
Yeah.
Is the 57 the one without the with the large recuperator, but it hasn't got the muzzle brake.
Yeah. So I'm wrong.
The 57.
So what we have actually, the shorter barrel is the 76. And the longer barrel is a 57. So the 76 in this case is more like your field artillery gun, whereas the 57 is your primary anti-tank weapon.
Because the Soviets, even up until the end of the Cold War, they had a system that they developed during the mid-war era where every artillery piece had 10 anti-tank rounds in its ammunition stowage, because a push could be pressed into use as anti-tank weapon.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you've got a 122mm artillery piece with an anti-tank round, that is really going to ruin your weekend if that comes through the turret.
The British 25-pounder also had an anti-tank round.
Yeah.
And it could fire over open sight.
Yeah.
And I would hate to be on the receiving end of what is it, a 90-something?
90.
Is that a 92mm?
92mm or something?
Yeah, that coming at you from even a short-barreled artillery.
Well, they had the Pheasant, didn't they, in the Western Desert, which was like a 25-pounder, 17-pounder hybrid.
Yeah.
That's just, but with the Soviets, they kind of put some thought into this to make things easier for themselves. So, again, with these kits, you can make a pack front.
Yep.
Boxes of anti-tank ordnance. That is really gonna make it hard for an opponent, especially if you've got them on an objective.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. So that is T-34s and guns covered. Let's look at KV-1.
Yeah, this is probably my favourite Soviet tank, I think.
So we have the upper hull. We have the turrets. There's 2 different turrets here. So I guess one would be KV-1S and the other would be KV-1 or KV-8.
Yeah.
We have the 3 gun mantlets here. I couldn't tell you which one's which because I'm just not that familiar. We have gun barrels here as well, rear hulls which are different, and the upper hull. Then on the other sprue we have the track segments, lower hull, the very back plate of the lower hull, and stowage bins as well as front of hull.
That shows you the difference between the 3 variants of KV.
So the KV variants here show you the different gun mantlets that fit onto them. So so that you know when you come to build them, this is the reference you need to make sure you know you're building the correct tank.
I mean, there's 2 paths you can go down here. You can either get the card and do it points wise, or you can just get the best way that gamers do things, pick the vehicle that you want, and then put it together.
Yeah.
So you use the card, work out which vehicle you want, and then using the build guide, which is very simple and easy to follow.
Yeah.
And you've got quite a lot of experience as well as I have about putting kits together. these are really easy to build. They'll get you playing within probably about an hour, unless you've got a friend. Two of you are sitting there snipping and gluing. You're up and running pretty short notice.
Absolutely. And because we're doing our Let's Play, I'm giving you the Russians because I want to be the Germans.
Right.
So I want to see how all these T-34s and stuff stack up against Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of slices us into another video that we're doing, where to go next, because at the moment with the KV-1, we've got the stats cards in here somewhere. I'll get John to put the KV. Where are we? If you get the KV-1 stat card in,
KV-1 and KV-1S there, so I'll do
it's
KV-1.
quite a formidable vehicle.
Yeah. It is. This one though does say hit on a 2, but it is a big target.
It is a big target, a very big target. It doesn't move that fast, and the S does a little bit quicker, but it will take some punishment. If you look at the armor,
front 9.
Yeah, so it's
side and rear 8,
and your average weapons, you've got a pretty good chance of shrugging hits off.
Yeah.
So the Soviets are okay until the Germans start putting in things like Tiger platoons.
Yeah.
Or bringing in the Pak 40
and the 88s.
And the 88s. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, really, if we put some Panzer IV Fs, some F1s in with that Pak 40, how that stacks up actually against the KV.
I think so. Well, we shall stop the talk because we will be doing our Let's Play hopefully very soon.
Yes.
So, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Put your comments down below to let us know what you think of Nikolay's steel wall.
Yes.
And we will see you again very soon.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastsofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.